Hi folks, welcome to We Be Fishing. We've got some very cool stuff or important stuff to talk to you today about, and we're hoping to get a little bit of feedback from you on this subject or topic as well. And but of course, before we do that, like always, we're going to welcome all the new people to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. We really do appreciate it. And if you're one of the regular viewers to We Be Fishing, you already know we love you, as we tell you all the time. Folks, We Be Fishing is a viewable podcast right here on YouTube that is a spin-off version of the B&T Catfishing Adventures channel. That's right. If you like one of them or subscribe, you get both. And of course, all of our channel members out there to the B&T Catfishing Adventures channel, of course, you get both as well. But you know we love you. If you want to be a member, it's only $1.99 a month, and that's cheaper than a cup of coffee. But hey, all right, so here we go. Let's get on with it. Today's topic is about tournament fishing, and it's about catfish tournaments. And there's been a lot of talk about this lately, and I would hopefully like to get your view on the subject. Now, I've mentioned some of my thoughts on this topic a few times here and there, but haven't really fully got into it. Now, some people out there, some tournaments, especially like kayak-type catfishing tournaments, what they're doing usually, or a lot of times nowadays, is they're just measuring their fish in length and not in weight. Okay, that's pretty cool, and it's reasonable to, you know, they're on a kayak and it's hard to put one of those things up there. And scales are very easy, especially just even if bumped, to get out of sync a little bit and maybe be different. And so it would be very hard to have all these kayakers with some type of weighing systems out there, some type of scales that would all stay fair across the board, and they're trying to measure them out there on those kayaks. It's just not going to work very well. So, all right, so they're measuring them in length. Perfectly fine. They're getting them in. They're measuring these things, and they're returning them back to the water quickly, and so there's less handling time done. There's not putting them in the live wells, dragging them out, putting them in something to haul them to the scales, and then all this other stuff. So there's a great advantage there to the safety of the fish, and we can debate whether we should go with weight or length. That would be a great topic in itself, but that's really not what I'm wanting to get at today. What I'm wanting to talk about is the number of fish that we're going to weigh in or produce. Now, I think it was about 2 years ago I went to a tournament, and I think these guys had a full bag, and catfishing tournaments, a lot of them are just like bass tournaments, and that's where a lot of these come from, and they're a 5 fish limit. Now, I think these guys had 5 fish, but they had 2 fish that were, each were over 50 pounds. So in the 2 fish alone, they had over 100 pounds worth of weight right there just in the 2 fish. Needless to say, these 2 guys with their full bag, they won the tournament. But my point is, you can have 100 pounds worth of fish or more in 2 fish. So right now I'm seeing there's still a lot of tournaments out there with the 5 fish limit, bag limit. And then you have other tournaments, a lot of them that are starting to go to a 3 fish limit. Now, what's your thoughts on that? Is 3 fish enough? Should it stay with the 5? Is it safer to have, less fish in the live wells and things like that, or hauling them up to get them weighed and so on and so forth? Do we need to handle this many big fish for long periods of time? possibly reducing the mortality rate of these fish. Now, all these tournaments do a wonderful job in trying to make sure that these fish get weighed in safely and return to the water as safely as possible. But let's face it, not all of them are going to make it. Now, I know some tournaments out there, they penalize you so many points for a dead fish, or they disqualify the fish, or they disqualified the fisherman. Boom, the whole thing. Boy, you're really going to make sure these fish are safe if it's risking your whole tournament. You know, your whole entry fee possible down the tubes because this fish died on you. So, you know, it definitely makes you want to be very, very careful with these fish. But so, is the fish limit a big deal? Should we reduce it to the 3, which it looks like a lot of the people today in the industry are going to? A lot of these big tournaments looks like are starting to go to a 3 fish limit. And again, you say, okay, Brad, how far are we going to take this? All right, yeah, I'm going to suggest a 2 fish limit. If, just like this tournament I saw in Indiana, if you can have 2 fish and have over 100 pounds of weight right there, if you're doing it for the scales, that's plenty of weight to have on those scales, right? That's plenty of fish. We, you know, I mean, just think of having 2 50-pounders in your live well, and maybe having 3 other fish, maybe some 20s or 30s in there as well, all banging and all this in there and some thrashing around, and all the possibilities of some of those fish not making it is much greater. And so we want to make sure, just like tournament directors do, we want to make sure these fish are safe. Now, everybody wants to have, you know, the big weight, you know, at these tournaments, and that comes from obviously more fish. Well, if we want to have greater weight, why not just take it to you know, if the state allows, obviously, you know, a 10 fish limit. You know, we could have a lot more. If we're going to do this argument, we can have a lot more weight if we upped it to 10 fish, right? No, we don't need that. All right. A 2 fish still gives you a chance to have over 100 pounds worth of fish, because we're talking about catfish. We're not talking about bass, folks. We're not talking about crappie tournaments. We're talking catfish. These are big, big fish, right? So it's a little different than the bass or the crappie or something of that nature. So a 2 fish would be perfectly fine. And it gives you a chance to also still have and qualify for big fish. You know, I mean, if we reduce this thing to 1 fish, well, you just got the big fish. Big fish wins it all, right? But I think the 2 fish is a little bit more fair. It shows maybe you just didn't get lucky catching that 1 fish. You're capable of catching 2 nice sized fish in the same tournament. And I think that says a lot right there. So if you can do that, that's a good thing. So I think possibly, in my feelings on the subject, is I would like to see a 2 fish bag limit, right? And you're culling these fish out, right? That doesn't mean you catch 2 fish and you're done for the day. You know, you're out there the full time, and you're trying to upgrade in fish, obviously. And so, you know, you get your 2 fish there, and we just take the 2 into the scales and weigh it up. Hopefully, you know, one of those is the big fish of the day, and you're really in the money for all those that are out there for money. Or even the smaller tournaments, you're out there, and you're mostly out there just to, you know, egg on your friends there and have bragging rights on the local lake or river or whatever. So, you know, we're playing it a little safer there for these fish if we're just getting 2. I don't know. I don't know if this makes sense to you guys or not. I would love, love, love. Now, I know a lot of our viewers are not tournament fishing, but I've got a feeling that all of our viewers have an opinion. Just a guess, but I'm guessing every one of you have an opinion of some kind on the topic. Now, you may not wish to vent it. You may fear some backlash from other fishermen or so on and so forth, or your friends or whatever. But I would love to hear it. If you think it makes more sense to have a 2 or 3 pound, or excuse me, 3 fish bag limit versus the 5, like they currently do in most of these tournaments, again, following, you know, the bass line of thinking there. And so, you know, in the comments, all right, go ahead and place in the comments what you think we should start doing in this industry. I mean, you have a voice, all right? You're out there buying fishing equipment. You're out there buying bait. You're out there buying fishing licenses and so on and so forth. Gear, shirts, so on and so forth. The industry will pay attention to you if you're pushing for something, all right? So let's hear what you got to say on the topic. If you think a 2 or 3 pound is better than the 5, because it's safer to fish, it just makes sense, you know, to be more conservation minded, and let's be a little safer with the fish. Let's hear it in the comment section. Folks, that's all I've got tonight. I just want to bring this topic up. It's getting to be a very hot button topic for some people out there. There's a lot of people that have really discussed this. A lot of people at some hardcore tournament fishermen go, oh, they're butthurt because we're just catching more fish than they are, or whatever it is, or this and that. They don't really care about the safety of the fish, whatever. Okay, if you believe 2 to 3 is better than the 5, let's hear it in the comments. Folks, thanks again so much for you being here and watching today's episode of We Be Fishing. Share this podcast with your friends. That's right. We are the viewable podcast of YouTube right here. And again, like I said before, we are a spin-off version of the B&T Catfishing Adventures channel. So give this episode a thumbs up. We really appreciate it, and it really helps to promote the channel by you doing that. Also, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. If you subscribe to this episode right here, you get the We Be Fishing and B&T Catfishing Adventures channel as well. Also, if you'd like to be a member, if you want to go a little deeper in helping us out, go ahead and subscribe as a member of our channel, which is $1.99 a month to do that, and that would greatly help us as well. Put a little bit of change in our pocket so we can fill up that gas tank on the boat, or buy some bait and help us on our next episode. Folks, thanks so much. We do appreciate it. You guys take care. Hope you enjoyed this, and let's hear what you've got to say about this subject in the comments. You guys have a great evening, and we'll catch you right here at We Be Fishing next time. Take care.